What's up, Taiwan? Rise and shine. Good morning. I'm Leslie Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. President Tsai has met with the head of an influential Washington-based NGO that aims to promote democracy around the world. Damon Wilson from the National Endowment for Democracy is on a 4-day visit to Taipei. Eric Gao has the details.
Taiwan's president hosted Damon Wilson, saying the Russian invasion of Ukraine highlights the importance of democracies coming together to take a stand against authoritarian regimes. The visiting head of the Washington-based National Endowment for Democracy praised Taiwan's vibrant democracy as an example to the world.
This is the first stop on my first trip to Asia as president of the National Endowment for Democracy. And it's intentional to underscore that we stand with Taiwan. We are committed to safeguarding Taiwan's democracy and to working with Taiwan to safeguard democracy around the world.
The endowment will co-host the World Movement for Democracy's Global Assembly, which will be held in Taipei from October 24th through the 27th. It will be the first time that the event will be held in Taiwan.
我们非常期待透过这一次的大会可以继续推动民主国家团结合作，让全球民主发展更加的坚实有力。
Wilson also touted Taiwan's solidarity with other democracies like Lithuania and Ukraine. Russia declared the National Endowment for Democracy as undesirable in 2015, while it was targeted by Chinese sanctions in 2020. Klein Wong and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
The U.S. and the Philippines are holding their largest ever joint military exercises, with thousands of soldiers taking part in the annual drill that runs until April 8th. Jaime Okan has the details.
It's the largest war games between Philippine and U.S. forces. 9,000 soldiers will take part in the 2-week exercise, focusing on maritime security and amphibious operations. The so-called balikatan or shoulder-to-shoulder exercises will take place in the Philippine Sea, in waters close to the eastern coast of Taiwan.
This exercise shall certainly strengthen the interoperability of both our armed forces for mutual defense, humanitarian assistance, and disaster response, and decisively contribute to the peace and stability of the Indo-Pacific region.
The exercises were in jeopardy of being canceled after Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte threatened to axe a legal framework in 2020, which provided the basis for the U.S. and the Philippines to hold joint operations. But the decision was walked back due to a rise in tensions in the South China Sea, after Chinese boats were found docked in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Officials say that the exercises are a sign of strong ties between the Philippines and the U.S.
This combined joint exercise is an opportunity for the United States and the Philippines to reaffirm our commitment to even more robust ties and to a relationship that remains highly relevant as the world faces new and continuing challenges.
The exercises come as U.S. intelligence revealed last week that China, which claims a vast majority of the South China Sea, fully militarized 3 islands, despite disputing claims from other countries in the region. The U.S. and its allies are determined to strengthen their military cooperation in the hopes of managing a rising China. Asnai Zhou and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
The Prime Minister of the Solomon Islands says he is insulted by the backlash against his country's security negotiations with China. Manasseh Sogavare says the Pacific Islands nation would not pick sides despite the pending pact, which could lead to China establishing a military base in the Solomons. Australia and New Zealand, which are traditional security partners for the region, have both expressed grave concerns regarding the deal. The Solomon Islands was a diplomatic ally of Taiwan until 2019, when Sogavare's government severed ties with Taipei in favor of Beijing. Discontent over this move is thought to have contributed to violent unrest in the capital Honiara last year. Taiwan's fruit dispute with China remains locked in stalemate, and with little sign of resolution, local farmers are starting to feel the pinch. Farmers are suffering from a ban on Taiwanese custard and wax apples imposed by China in September 2021. Prices for the fruits have dropped drastically. It follows a Chinese ban on Taiwanese pineapples introduced in February last year. Taiwan suspects the sanctions are politically motivated. In a World Trade Organization committee meeting last week, Taiwan once again asked China to provide evidence to back their claims that fruit shipments contained pests. Officials have invited their Chinese counterparts to visit Taiwan's farms for inspection. 1 year after a train crash that killed 49 people, Taiwan's rail operator will unveil a memorial to the victims of the disaster. The front two carriages of the train wreckage will stand in a depot in northern Taiwan. Relatives of the victims suggested the idea as a solemn reminder of the tragedy. The 408 Taroko Express derailed in eastern Taiwan on April 2nd, 2021, after it crashed into a maintenance truck which fell onto the tracks. Criminal proceedings against the truck driver and his assistant are still underway. Taiwan's history of colonial rule by Asian and European powers has left the country with a unique architectural legacy. We meet one of the few craftsmen skilled in the techniques needed to restore these diverse historic buildings.
我16岁就，伊这个学师啊，学德龙术。我还佫作细，我才有定一条迄医疗吼，我爬起来咧磨呢。功夫我拢想讲，这个功夫若我学起来，安就好啊。30几岁就开始做大师啊，大师咧听一听4房，佫和平顺修啊，迄规座。我较早做大师迄吼，拢徛起来在起楼啊。阮恁社人差不多100顶楼，差不多起99顶啊。我拢往我目睭甲往我迄个安尼看。啊，咱做这古迹吼，爱照，当较早人做的，就爱共做起来。这日本树这顶就讲台南这顶，甲台北这顶，高雄这顶，做起来拢无相像，迄线条拢无相像。你看我迄线条一块一块啊，偌济。较早是无木质条，那阮做的是无木质条，都学比啊那变的。日本人是拢用木质条先做。对我哋讲，这日本树就上歹做的，这个铁路布，伊拢顶迄个木质条，倒掉的下当啊，伊迄天棚顶安尼来，个顶安尼落来，这拢拖线，业主甲因咧做肉的，甲因咧说，梁伯，你敢转接会倒？我讲梁伯啊，转接袂倒，唔敢来咧，是家己伫烦恼。我一下昏困无半点钟咧，迄唔知要安怎做。煞咧要去做好，咁咩旧的无落起来，烧香唔免伤白。迄个即道这古迹较济，后边啊壁后木质条后窗啊，着个抹涂浆，着个有无安，较济啦。做甲讲新闻实在有影，我只要做这个。迄个87岁农历87岁有哪做足久安尼？迄抹刀用偌济呢？拢安尼用到安尼，尾啊尖尖。日本人抹迄嘛拢去了了。对。那讲日本人做。我嘛是讲，你做人过，某的做工的都懵。做甲慢慢紧，做好起，就像恁阿公做安尼，做好起来，人大家都你若毋捌，我搁伫咧，你来问我倒啊，问来问，你问我就甲你讲，你就了做好，做看会笑，要安尼啊。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Leslie Liao. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with some images of a puppy pool party in Venezuela. Now, what's not to love? Take care and see you next time.